All right, let's look and see what we got going today. Let's go into the daily SPY. You know, this is how I like to trade. So we've had this ascending happening right here, right? And we finally lost it. Remember earlier this week we were talking about how we were waiting on breakout retest of the 69.78. We retested that and lost it, and we've been pulling down ever since. Now we have this ascending triangle that we lost this morning also, but we're still keeping this key level here. Like we so hard for us to break below 29, 6,900. So we got this key level where we bounced at. But let's drop down to the 1 hour, I believe, because I want to show you something. So a lot of people will see this here, which is a good bounce, but they will get too anxious and jump in here. But this is just really the break and retest, right? So we want to make sure that this retest doesn't pull back down again. So once we get a candle that closes inside of here or a body that starts above this line, this is where you really want to take the call if you missed it down here, right? So this was a good area too. Triple bottom, 1, 2, 3. If you miss that, we want the body to start up here. And once that body gets in here, we shall see this thing push back up. Now, one thing I would say is just be a little cautious because we do have the Supreme Court rulings on if inflation is legal or not. So that may cause some volatility in the market if they rule against the tariffs. Not sorry, not inflation. If they rule against Trump's tariffs, so be mindful of that. So that's what I see here on SPX. Same things on SPY. Right? We saw SPY lose here, right? So you know, I'm a trend line trader. I'm a break and retest trader. You see this? We broke, retesting it. We got to make sure that this continues to push back up. And now we have this falling wedge happening inside of this, right? So this is what I would do. You guys know I love my falling wedges. This gives me three areas of confluence. One, demand bounce. Two, breakout here. Three, body forming back up here. Right, there's three areas of confluence, so I will wait for this to happen for me to get a bounce to push this thing back up to like 697 or so. Also, some more indicators down here are showing that we're pretty oversold. We did get a bounce on the low RSI, so there's a couple of confirmations here for SPY. Let's jump over to Walmart. Remember, we were in that 120 Walmart call there. Got what I wanted. We ran this thing all the way up. Yesterday we topped out about 120. What do we top out at? Right up in here, about 120.66. So definitely got our profits on that one. Um, if we bounce off of this, which is the VWAP here, I think we may get a little more push up on Walmart. Remember when uncertainty happens in the market, these consumer staple type stocks start to do well because people are like, what's cheap? You know, I can only afford cheaper things. So Walmart and DG are two that um, kind of play off of each other. And we see here, DG is going crazy. We do have this ascending wedge. I mean, sorry, yeah, this ascending wedge here that was actually um, it never got invalidated, so we're still pumping. As long as we bounce off of this trend line here, we're still very, very bullish. This could be an inside out candle right here, right? To where the next one's green, it pushes back up. So DG is another one to keep an eye on that kind of moves when the economy is a little scary, right? We got our Bitcoin. We reclaimed 96. We're pumping this thing up. Look at this. So we have this uh, bull flag formed here. Boom, broke out of that thing. All right. If we get back in here, this is our trend line that we started last year that had us running up to like 130. So if we get back above 98, we're headed right back into the hundreds on Bitcoin. And as a result, I would imagine Riot is probably pushing up too. And here we go. So remember, break your retest. Remember, we had this ascending wedge on Riot. Said we're not going to get into this until it broke down. It never broke down. Instead, it broke out. And look what happens. We break out, retest, bigger run. Remember, break and retest is what we wait for. A retest is always the larger run here. So that's what we have here on Riot. And let's go look at NVIDIA. We got a look. Oh, no, no, not NVIDIA. I want to look at Oklo. Okay, we're getting a bounce here now. So Oklo. Oklo's been trading in this falling wedge here also. So see these areas of confluence here, right? We hit the bottom of this falling wedge. We hit right around the demand zone. And we got some room. We got some room to run this thing back up to like 101, at least to the top of this falling wedge. And out of that, we have our supply zone at 107. I do like this bounce right here since we respected this downtrend, right? I do like this bounce, which means it should more than likely continue to respect this pattern formation. So if we do this here, draw it out a little bit here, draw it out a little bit here, we can definitely see this thing push at least back up to the top here, like 101. Again, super oversold down here, below 30 on the RSI. So we're super oversold on Oklo also. So I know we got a pop because of the meta news, but even naturally Oklo was, on his way trending back up. So let's see what happens here. We'll check back on this in a couple of days, see if we crack back above 100 here pretty soon. That's what I got for today. Let's see what other stocks are out there moving. A lot of red, and I think a lot of people are on pins and needles waiting on seeing what the Supreme Court's going to say. Let's look at NVIDIA real quick, see what we're doing here. Okay, so we're in a falling wedge also. Let's go ahead and extend this here since it continues to draw out. So let's go ahead and extend this falling wedge here on the video. So this is a break of structure here. If this body gets back above this break of structure at like 102, we should see this thing push back up to at least like 104, 105, and then of course a breakout runs us back up to this 188. So 182, if you're an NVIDIA trader, wait for 182. We're oversold down here also, so we're running pretty hot on NVIDIA. So let's see what happens at 102. If this body forms and gives us a bounce, we should get a couple of point move, push back up to the top. So that's what I see for today. Peace.